Hello everyone, this is Hakaym, and welcome back to some more World of Warships. And as many of you may know, the split branch on the US cruiser line is fast approaching us, as probably a lot of people have seen in battle, seeing the test ships for essentially the super testers, and I decided let's see how the tier 5 is again. I'm a glutton for punishment. We are playing on Ring. We have a New Mexico, New York, Texas, Britannia, October Revolution, Cleveland, Nuremberg, Perth, Omaha, Agile, or Eagle, and Shan, and a kamikaze on the enemy team. There is a New Mexico, 2 Texas, Julio Cesar, Congo, Cleveland, Leander, Graspe, Fabuki, Fushan, Nicholas, and Jinwei. I am joined up with a few of my clanmates. I have Lord E in the kamikaze, and I have Dread in the October Revolution. So, let's talk about the Omaha. This ship, as many people know, if you ever see a wild Omaha in the wild, I guess hence it's wild, it immediately becomes the fixation of your interest. You immediately want to shoot it because it has a very large citadel and is very easy to kill. So, I'm going to offer some good recommendations. Now, I do have a friendly destroyer, and this helps dramatically with the smoke screen, but good recommendation when playing the Omaha is use cover. I mean, that's going to be the most best thing for you, is to use cover. And keep in mind, this captain's not all the way tiered up. He's only a 3-point captain. So I don't even have concealment expert on my captain. So this is just going to be essentially almost a base Omaha as far as you can go. But one thing I have witnessed in my time of playing the Omaha, the few times I do feel like playing her, is there's actually a really good tactic, and you're kind of seeing what I'm doing right now. Yes, I am using cover. Yes, that is extraordinarily beneficial, but it comes down to how you're playing her. So a lot of captains will turn broadside, get all their guns. And keep in mind, the Omaha does have quite a few guns. But here's one nice thing about the Omaha. The Omaha has about, let's actually take a look. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guns up front. And when showing broadside, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guns. So with the losing of one gun, you essentially negate any good broadside to provide any enemy ships to actually get a citadel. Once again, you kind of see how I'm playing, where I'm essentially using the majority of this island and just poking out my nose just to get a few guns, and it is actually pretty worth it. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to get citadel through your bow. You will. However, it is a much more difficult target to actually hit the Omaha bow in than it is if it is showing a lot of broadside. So this is actually a very good tactic, and I probably really shouldn't be saying this, but if you are going up through the USN cruiser line, it's a good recommendation. As I've seen a battleship essentially ignore me because I'm not showing a broadside. He was looking at me at one moment, then decided the shot wasn't really worth it, and turned his attention elsewhere. So it's a good tactic. I'm not saying it's going to prevent your death, and that's one thing to keep in mind. The Omaha is very susceptible to enemy fire, that for the most part they generally are going to be the ones that will go down first. And it is very difficult to actually get a good result with the Omaha. But one thing does definitely help is when you have a friendly destroyer that is willing to lay down a smoke screen for you. And there is a Texas not too far away, and just watch how good of damage Omaha can actually do if it is allowed to do it. So Texas, almost first salvo set of fire, second salvo set a second fire, and we can essentially bring all guns to bear. I mean, this ship albeit not the most amazing as far as defensive purposes, as far as armor, can do a fairly decent job. Granted, the guns aren't particularly quick, and you do have to show a lot of broadside, but if you're able to, you can deal a significant amount of damage. Now, I don't exactly know why this Texas is essentially allowing these two fires to just burn, because surely he has some damage control up and available for him. But at this time, I mean, decent as far as getting good fire damage, and once again, with the arcing on the shells is kind of similar to later game, but I would say they're almost a little bit more reliable than say the Cleveland. Obviously, the Cleveland's definitely a major kicker. But one nice thing about the Omaha versus any of the late tier US cruiser line is the fact she does actually have torpedoes. They are short range, only 5.5, so not the most amazing as far as torpedoes go. But hey, you have a set of torpedoes. It is a nice beneficial defensive purpose. Don't recommend go rushing in there, that's to be certain. Definitely don't want to do that, but you kind of see and understand how I've been playing this Omaha. It's a good tactic, very good tactic, taking it careful, and yes, we are top tier, so this does prove extremely beneficial for us. And I'm not gonna say you're gonna survive long at a tier 7, but if you do take your time, and I highly recommend take your time, be cautious, don't rush anything, because if you rush, you will just get killed. And there we go, actually took out the Texas, and still doing pretty well on as far as health. So good recommendation is, I don't want to say passive, but if you are going up through the Omaha line, play it semi-passive. Top tier, yeah, you're going to do a really good job, but if you are bottom tier or mid tier, going to have a bad time, and that is just no fun for anyone. So once again, taking my time, reversing, Julio Cesar goes down to Lord E's torpedoes, and at the moment this battle is actually kind of stupidly close. Their destroyers are currently rushing off towards two of our battleships, completely circling around, and I guess you could say it's essentially what late tier is. So I'm not overly surprised with these tactics. So at the moment, things are still fairly close. We have the same amount of ships, but we do have caps. Obviously, our team has kind of focused on caps. Lordy's been doing a really good job capping and spotting and laying down smoke screens. Once again, this really does help a lot just to ensure the survival of the Omaha. But at the moment, now we have a Congo. Actually, it's an ARP ship technically. I gotta be careful because the smoke penalty in smoke screen is quite lousy, especially when you don't have a full 10-point captain. And unfortunately, this Congo is kind of in range, so I am holding my fire. You have to play it smart. Once again, you have to play it smart if you're playing the Omaha. And it looks like, I think Lordy is actually currently gonna try to go in there and try to torp this Congo. So, especially with the excitement of the USN cruiser line coming up, a lot of people, newer people maybe, especially since we have a lot of new players coming to the game due to Steam, they might not know how to play Omaha, or they might just, you know, rush out as usual. But once again, if Omaha is left to its own devices, it can do a fairly good job and really can prove beneficial in a battle. I've seen really good Omaha players. Not a lot. For the most part, they generally die well before any possibility of adding additional benefit with their firepower. But once again, going bow in is extremely beneficial, and the fire chance not bad. Not not bad. We actually got a fire on that Texas. Now the enemy team is essentially just chasing around this Britannia. Didn't do anything really besides just chasing around, going around it in a circle. And now we are in a point where we are well and comfortably in a lead. And we even taken D. And the enemy team's not doing so hot. Now, Cleveland versus Omaha. My money is generally going to be on the Cleveland, but you can't, you know, miss an opportunity such as this. Not spotted. Cleveland decides to slow up, starts to reverse, and the shell accuracy is not bad. As you can see, our shells generally group very well together. May not be the most high damaging, may not be the fast for loading, but hey, good positioning is always key whenever playing in a very squishy ship like the Omaha. And it's probably a good way to learn, especially when you're pushing your way up through the US cruiser line, how to play that tier. Now, unfortunately, the Jinwei was spotting us, and now we are fortunately no longer spotted. And just keep an eye on this Jinwei. This part actually is quite funny to witness, this battle between this Texas and the Jinwei. No, normally your money would be on the destroyer, not so much the battleship. Not saying that battleships can't defend themselves, since they can get full penetration with their AB shells. But this Jinwei is definitely definitely lost the element of surprise, and any moment now is going to ram the battleship. Don't think that's quite how that works, but hey, the Texas just earned Die Hard, which is actually really nice. And look at that, got another fire on that Cleveland. Looks like he did repair it, and this battle is very much coming to an end. And once again, playing the Omaha is going to be difficult. It's going to suck. And I would almost say, if you had the Fear XP, just skip it. Just get to the Cleveland, or what I think the Pensacola is taking over the tier 6. Just skip it. But if you don't have the opportunity or the possibility to actually skip the tier 5 USN cruiser, you need to be careful. I mean, I sound like beating a dead horse, but play it smart, take your time, and you do reasonably well. I mean, 50,000 points of damage, 1 assist base capture, 1 kill. Not overly the worst battle results, but fairly decent for comparing when you're a very squishy ship that generally gets sitted to death. But anyways, this is actually going to be it for this very short video. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Jen.